What's up, YouTube family? So let's talk about Matthew chapter 25, 34 to 40. That scripture in verse is widely misunderstood, I think. So I would like to touch base on it, see if we all can get an agreement with what this verse is saying. So I want to give a quick synopsis and bring in about a good understanding for what that scripture is saying, because I believe it is widely misunderstood about the people that helped the Messiah and who he considered as the people who did for him, as when one would do for another, he was actually doing it for him. So let's take it there real quick. I want to bring you to the page of Matthew chapter 25, 34. Matthew chapter 25, verse 34 to 40. Okay, so family, I want to read this passage in the Bible right quick. Matthew chapter 25, 34 and 40. And the king is referencing those who had helped his brethren right here. Who was his brethren? We know that the king said, "My mother and brothers are those who do the will of my Father." So he can only be talking about them. I don't think he's just talking about just anybody who's needing help. I don't think he's just talking about just anybody. Because we know that the king, that scriptures say, "My mother and brother are those who do the will of my Father." And we got to stick close to the king and listen to what he says, not to what anyone else might say. Because if we know we come in the volume of the book, we come in the volume of the scriptures for according to what it says, then we know that he says, look how it says, "my brethren." Then he's not talking about the world. He's talking about those who are doing the will of the Father. And when we have helped those that does the will that does the will of the Father, he says, we also helped him. You did it to me. And it says, I want to read this passage. Then the king will say to those on his right hand, "Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Then the righteous will answer him, saying, "Master, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you? Or when did we see you sick or in prison and come to you?" And the king will answer and say to him, "Assuredly I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these my brethren, you did it to me." And you notice how it says the righteous, right? Okay, so we have my brethren, right? Which we know that the king said, "My mother and brothers are those who do the will of my Father." And then it says right here, then the righteous. Okay, then it says, then the righteous. And we know who the righteous are. The scripture, what does the scripture say who the righteous is? Those who practice the laws of Yah. That's who the righteous are. Those who stay close to the commandments of God and the testimony of the Messiah. Okay, so this is who the righteous is. So we know that the king is talking about, this is a unity thing. This is brothers and sisters coming together, helping one another. Like in the book of Acts, when all the brothers came together, brothers and sisters came together, and they was helping one another, and it was coming together and growing, and growing and growing as a full assembly. And then it goes in and says, "Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you." Because you notice how it says, "Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you." And notice it says the righteous. We know who the righteous are. Those are the ones who practice the laws of Abba Yah, right? And the testimony of the Messiah. And we know it says here, "My brethren," my brothers are those who do the will of my Father. And now it says here, now doesn't it make sense? Because they're practicing the kingdom of heaven right here. What does the king say? The kingdom of heaven is within you. So now it goes to here, "Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you. The reward for those on his right hand, the sheep is that they enter into the Father's kingdom." Because see, in here, they was practicing in unison, in unity as a family. The righteous and those who do the will of the Father, all these together get to enter the kingdom of heaven because they was practicing the kingdom of heaven here on earth. So after that quick synopsis, right, we know that the righteous are the ones who practice the laws of Yah. We know that's who the Messiah was talking to. So that being said, family, click that like button, click that subscribe button, and shalom.